and be able to keep some things tighter that needs it. So you can see that going back and making adjustments now, and that's why I wait to go back and make fine adjustments as I get closer to the finished model, because now I can tighten up this stuff, and it makes more sense now to do it, because now I'm at the point of kind of finishing stuff off, you know, instead of doing it all in the beginning and then having a bunch of stuff I have to go back and change and modify anyway. So I just wait. You'll get to a point where you can go back and clean up your model stuff. So I do it that way. It's just easier for me. Now, if you choose not to do it that way, that is completely your prerogative. You can do what you want to do. But I can promise you, if you can see, by doing it this way, look at that. It's nice and clean. My my verts and stuff are nice and clean. I've got nice hard edges. I can go in here and add another one here to tighten up that, and one on the edge down there to tighten that up. But that actually does have kind of a rounded, like an edge to it. So that could work out fine, actually. Yeah, it could. That could be a-okay. Because when everything's together, your receiver and everything else should be flush with the top part of the gun itself, and everything else. I need to take this and pull this forward. Yeah, that's some stuff right there that needs to come forward. But all of that stuff should actually be very easy to maneuver. Alright, so boom. And boom. Yeah, there we go. Probably need to tighten up this top part up here. I think that's right. It's just the picture. Once again, that's the picture. So make sure you check things before you start moving things around too much, because you could mess up something that actually is just a problem with the picture and not a problem with your model. Alright, and I think I'm going to go ahead and tighten up this line right here. I'm going to do a loop edge right behind this and push it forward on this, and that tightens that up. Oh yeah. Alright, so this probably needs to come back this way. I can keep tight. I can keep tension on this and spread it on the other stuff. Spread it like toast, man. There we go. That gives me that nice little ha-ha moment in there. Something like that. This right here I might actually weld away. Let's see what one of these looks like with it merged out. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So let's merge this out. So let's merge this out. And that, yeah, that don't look half bad. It's kind of weird right here, but you know, it keeps the continuity of the body where I really want it. So then I can do, cool things like be able to grab this stuff here, get my scale tool, and then kind of scale this in a little bit. You can see now it gives me that ridge that I was trying to get before. I get these right here maybe, and bring this in and get that ridge in there. Not too much, because then it'll start to change this. It comes in a little bit more, so something like that. So you can see where my geometry, and looking at how you work with your geometry, you can actually get some things pretty interestingly clean. Let's get this. I'm doing like individual tweaking now. I don't want to move too much of my mesh at one time. Because, you know, I would imagine that where your thumb goes, it has to be pretty divoted in and kind of smooth so that you can kind of slide your thumb on in there. Slide your thumb into that receiver. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I want to get stray ones like that. So. And I think I'm liking how my tweaks and my kind of changes are making this look. So I think my cleanup is coming almost to an end. Is that got everything that I had? Let's see. Yeah. Everything I want. So I gotta bring this in a little bit. And do the same thing here. Gotta bring this in a little bit. And like I say, I'm gonna come in here and do this from a side view. Not bringing it in too far. Let's bring this out a little bit. This is back a little bit like that. So I likes the way that is right there. Now, the thing to remember too is that the ejection port for spent cartridges is right here. So I can see that's why this has a little pushed out part right there, because that's for when the cartridges are ejected out of the gun. So keep that, bear that in mind. So that's good, that's good. All that looks good. Hit F so I can go back to top level mode, as it were, object mode for some programs. All of them have a different way of saying the same damn thing, which is funny to me. It's like, just be consistent. Just say the same things. Just say, you know what? Cookie mode. If it's cookie mode, then it's cookie mode. Then make cookies, you know? So let's now make our rest of our receiver. So I'm going to make a cube. Bring it up to here. Let's do the same thing. Let's ghost ride the whip. I didn't just say that. I did though. I said it. I'm sorry. I apologize. To all my YouTube fans out there, I apologize for saying ghost ride the whip. I've said it again. Sorry. I apologize. I don't though. What's the thing? I don't apologize. I'm afraid of nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get this sized up for where it's going to sit, because it can't be any wider than this. If this is the width of that, and it can't be any bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? It just can't be. It's like boom. Because I think the top part of this does not scale down the way we... Well, actually it does, because it stops right here. So I think this still comes back out to the full size of this. So let's maybe make those changes now before I forget about them. And then I'm looking at this at the very end and I'm like, what happened? What happened to that? So scale this back out to right about there. There? Is that it? Is that it? I think that's it. Boom. Boom. Yeah. I think I scale these in stages, so we will rescale them in stages. Haha. So something like that. So boom. So that. There we go. And just so that doesn't have like a really weird kind of curviness to it, I'm going to bring this back out here. And bring it back out right here. So now it should have like a stage step to it. Should be a hard step in it now. Stomp a mud hole in it. Because Stone Cold said so. I know, I'm sorry. I apologize. I've been playing wrestling games. Don't ask me why. But I wanted to wrestle. You heard me. Wrestle. Not wrestle, but wrestle. So, this part of this goes out because the slide actually goes into the body like right here. So when you slide it back, it's sliding back into this portion of our gun. So leave that enough space so I can get my slide back through. And kaboom. Shabuya. Roll call. Yup. So there we go. Let's hit F to go back to top level mode, and let's move this guy back up here and get him back where he should be. So this right here comes down right about, let's bring it right about here. Let's do that, because then I can come in here and extrude this up to here. Mahaha. You should say. You should be like, you're a genius. Now you got to remember that the PS90 is ambidextrous. So the slide that's on this side, there is another slide on the other side. So don't think this is one-sided. This is a two-sided thingy. And when it clips in, and you can either hit the slide on the left or right side, depending on, you know, which handed you are. If you're one-handed or two-handed. Hopefully you're two-handed. Many other mammals are two-handed. I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna do this. Z, and then extrude this down. I'm doing that because I can see this ridge happening right here, and I want to go ahead and have the geometry for it instead of not having the geometry for it, and then needing the geometry for it. So let's go and go like right about here. Right, and let's repeat. And sorry, right about here. And then repeat. And then right about here. And repeat. And then you're like, what? D. Stop it. So here. Repeat. Yep, here. And repeat. Out there. Repeat. Something like that. And repeat. And repeat. Something like that. Repeat. So, gonna also come in here and let's get this loop of the whole thing. And I'm going to extrude. Get my scale tool. Something like that. Alright. And I can tell, like right here, let's go ahead and pull that down. Yeah, you didn't see what I was doing, did you? I was setting things up. Yeah, like a ninja setup. So get this stuff here. And womp womp. I should have put another loop right here. So put that in there and loop it. Bring it closer to here. That's good. No. Get that, and then right there. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So this whole slide thing down the center, kind of the same premise. I'm gonna go Shibuya, yeah. Shibuya roll call, and I'm gonna get all of this. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get over there. And let's do the same thing. Let's go and extrude. And when I extrude it, I'm going to scale it. And let's move it up just a tiny bit. A tiny bit. Like there. And let's scale it in. Like that. Smooth it and see what it looks like. Not perfect, but not bad either. So I can go in here to like edge mode. Maybe be careful with an edge like really close to that, because it'll do that. It'll do that weird loop around, because it is all of this part of the same edge. It's just it's a weird way to selected it. Well, actually, it's not when I think about it, because I kind of do want that to happen. Kind of want the border around the whole thing to get sharp. So I can hit bevel. So you'll see I can bevel that really tight. Might be too tight because I couldn't see it. You never want to have something so tightly, you never want to have edges right on top of each other, because then you get interfaces which, if you don't know about them, they can lead to problems with your model. And then you're stuck with them and you're like, I can't get them out. Nah. Sadness. and you just cry. Cry 2 tears in a bucket. Now I'm going to say beveling in. And this time I'm going to use my bevel and actually get a little bit of separation. Doesn't have to be much, just enough to know they're on top of each other. And boom. And I'm thinking that's pretty much my slide. I mean my slide, but my receiver. And for this thing right here, we're just going to put another loop edge in. So let's go in here and say a loop. Let's go down. So that right there. Oh yeah, I could have beveled it open. So for all the people out there, are gonna be like, "You could have just beveled that open." And you're right. I could have just beveled it open, but I didn't. Okay. I'll do this one though. I'll take this one. And I'll bevel this one open. Watch. Boom. Yum 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 yum. Now at the same time, this is Story of a Girl. Somebody should get that. I'm going to bevel this and bevel it open. And I'm going to go into vertex mode and I'm going to take out some of these because they're not needed. So merge. 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 So you can see I'm just taking out these ones that made everything tight around here, because I didn't need that tightness to go any farther than the little spot where it was at. And that was it. I didn't need it to go all the way through my model, buddy. I didn't need that. Just needed to go right in the localized areas. Duh. Oh my god, Becky. I needed it in the localized areas. So, localized area would be right there for that centerpiece. And nowhere else. So, I can do that. So, I'm going to get these. Because, the thing about it for me is I don't like to have geometry if I don't need the geometry. Like, there's just no point. Some people will leave that stuff and they're like, well, you know, it doesn't add that much to the poly count. But when I'm looking for an extra 100 polygons and I've got really tight, you know, things like this that have happened, that little bit of geometry can add up, especially if it's like multiple pieces that have little things like this. Then yeah, that gets very costly. And, you know, it's geometry that, did you really need it in the first place? Well, no. Did it make it easier by adding it all in the beginning? Yeah, it did. Because I could just do the loop, and the loop was already clean. I didn't have to worry about trying to keep it, or the bevel was already clean. I didn't have to worry about trying to keep it straight on both sides. I just made it through there. Now, the other argument would be that, well, you should have just modeled half of it. Well, okay. Well, yeah, that's a valid argument as well. I mean, any argument's valid if you keep arguing it, right? You can just keep arguing over and over again, but it doesn't make you more or less right than the other person. So, you can see that's a lot cleaner. All that stuff in there. Everything is tight, tight, tight. That's tight, that's tight. That looks like a little hill right there, so we're gonna fix that. That needs to be a little bit tighter. So Shibuya. And let me go back to edge mode. Just gonna do both these at the same time. So I'm going to do bevel on both of them. double bevels. And now I'll go back and clean up all the other vertices I don't need. Double vertices. Coming to a theater near you. Alright, so I've got this stuff. Cleaning all this stuff up. Once I get this stuff cleaned up, we will be ready pretty much to start taking this into like one of the programs, other ones that we can model, not model, but texture in. So I'm almost at the point where I can take this out and start unwrapping it. I would unwrap it inside a silo. I'm not inclined to. I don't like. And it's not that silos unwrapping tools are horrible. I just meh. The coats, the tools inside of 3D Coat are clean and easy, and there's no fuss, no muss. So I just use those. Now other people will argue, well, you could just have done that inside of Silo, and Silo's unwrapping tools are very much great, and you are a bad person for saying things against it. Well, I could very well be a bad person. That's fine. That's your prerogative. There happen to be tons of people that think I'm a great person. But it doesn't matter. Really what it matters about is you getting the result you need. So that's why I'm not a stickler when it comes to this. And these, because I would imagine that little divot right there is not as wide as the whole receiver. I would imagine that it's just a localized little kind of a bump. So I'm gonna do this, and if I see it later on and it's wrong, then it, I'll go back and fix it. But I imagine, I've never really seen one without the receiver in it. I mean, I've never seen everything broken down, so I can only speculate as to the validity of this. So let's actually undo that. Let's make sure we grab these two as well. So all of this comes in together to make something like that. And then let's smooth it and see it. There we go. That right there looks sexy. That's what that is. That's sexy right there. That's sexy modeling, if I must say so myself. And it seems I must say it myself because no one's saying it for me. So smooth some things around. I think there's still some things that need to be cut in, and they're going to go up here. So after all of that, I've gotten most of my receiver. I don't have the handle part, but I'm going to kind of try to cheat and figure it out. I think I might find some more pictures of my PS90 and be able to do that. I've gone through most of the major modeling parts of the body, so I feel really good about what you've been able to see and everything else. I'm going to make a trigger for this, of course. It still needs a trigger. I'm going to make the trigger and the other pieces, and that's really kind of it. Like, for the most part, I'm kind of done with this model. I'm going to take this model into Coat and start unwrapping it. But for the most part, this model is done. It's easy peasy dunsies. But yeah, this is not that bad. This didn't take that long. It for about 2.5 hours on recording time, which is going to be cut up. But I think we did a pretty good job moving this along fairly well. I'm not even going to make a hole into the other part of the receiver. You know, in real life, would this have a hole in it? Yes, it would. But here, because of what we're doing, I mean, come on. It's kind of that old adage: if you don't see it, don't model it. And that would add me a bunch of geometry to my receiver back piece that is just not needed because you're not going to see it. My model now is still pretty clean. I'm happy with it, honestly. I'm really happy with my PS90. So in the next video, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my handle. Handle's not that hard. I'm gonna take some of the same ideas that I've taken from other pieces of this and kind of make them work for the handle. And that's really gonna be it. So I'm not even gonna. I mean, I can go through the handle, and if we want to, and maybe I'll do that. You know, cause I need to add people. People need to be adding themselves to the channel. So if you like what you see, then hit that subscribe button down below the video. So I'm going to leave it up to the community. I will do the handle if you ask me to do the handle in the comments and through subscriptions, and I'll make another video and actually go through and show you how I did the handle. But if not, then I won't do the handle. I'll just have a handle, and you won't know how I made it. I'm pretty sure you can figure it out, but you won't have done it with me. Anyway, check me out, and we'll be back in the next video. In the next video, we'll be moving this inside of 3D Coat, and in 3D Coat, I'll be showing you how to unwrap it and apply your textures and get it ready to go take into Marmoset so we can render it. So we're almost at the end of this journey. The unwrapping part inside of 3D Coat is not going to take long. The body of the gun is pretty much the same material. There's not a lot of material changes on this particular weapon. So it won't take us long to unwrap it and to texture it, and we'll get right back to it in our next video.